What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Tower Talk Show. And this one, it's all Hunter biased. I'm sorry. If you don't like Hunter, if you're a freaking Titan main, go get a personality, come back later. Just kidding. We love you. Stay here and listen.
Wow.
The three of us are huge Hunter fans. We're freaking pumped. We're going to be talking about the new sidearm, of course. I'm your host, The Beard. We have former Guardian. We have Not So Gamer. How you fellas doing?
Great, man.
Awesome,
Freaking pumped or what? Are you or are you not excited?
All the excited. That we're gonna dive into it, but that stasis subclass, that Revenant looking sexy.
Just even the name of it, Revenant. That's just freaking. I dig it. I dig.
I mean, I feel like we're all like the more and more we're getting this, like the more vibes we're getting, like getting excited for Be Online. We just like can't wait to get here, you know.
100%. 100%. I mean, Twitter is still on fire with just freaking, hey Bungie, we got cheaters, or hey Bungie, I don't know if you knew this, they're cheaters. It's just like, I mean, I don't know how much more there is to say. I do think though it would be foolish to assume that, like, A, they don't know, and B, they're also not actively doing, like, there's got to be something in the works. I mean, I don't know if you two agree, but I just feel like it's gone on for so long, it can't be a surprise to them at this point, but I also don't think that they've just done nothing.
Yeah, I don't think it's as much as it's like not a surprise or that they're not aware. My concern is that they don't have either the manpower or the time or whatever to give it the attention it needs when they're trying to release all the content they're trying to drop. They had to delay this content drop month and a half. And hopefully it's because they want to add additional stuff like an anti-cheat of some kind and things like that. But I'm more worried that it is coming at some point. I do believe that they are going to roll out an anti-cheat at some point. I'm concerned it's farther along down the road than sooner. I would love to see it drop on the 10th of November with this expansion, and fingers crossed that it does. But I do think it's on their radar. I think they're aware of it. Just have to see, I guess. So,
I mean, is that too tall of an order, Gamer, do you think, to fill? I mean, are we asking for a lot here?
For an anti-cheat?
Yeah, like alongside the new season.
For cheaters to not exist in a game as popular.
I mean, we're probably like at this point, we're probably asking for like too much. I mean, obviously, we want something a lot better, especially, I mean, like I did a couple Iron Banner matches, and then you're seeing that in Iron Banner, and you're seeing it in Control, you're seeing it like in Elimination, you're seeing it everywhere. So, and then it's so sad because like us as PvP players, we bring it up too much. Like, oh man, like you're seeing it in all these like game modes that I mentioned, but at the same time, like it's not only in PvP. Like now you're seeing it in Nightfalls, you're seeing it in Strikes, you're seeing it in Gambit. Like I mean, it's to the point now where like it's not just hitting one section of the area, it's hitting the whole game in general, you know. And my worry is that when Beyond Light comes out, we get the world's first raid, and then what's gonna happen, like we'll probably get like some freaking having a beard there.
This is awkward.
It was super awkward.
Audio
Anyways,
listeners
but like,
won't know. It's fine.
but like where I'm getting at is I'm just so scared that world's first will probably more likely be like a 6 stack of cheaters.
That's been the talk I've been seeing lately amongst the community, is talk of cheaters winning world's first. And I've seen people suggest things like, if you're going to be in the runnings, you have to be streaming it while you do world's first so that it's obvious.
I've seen those.
Which I do think that's kind of an elitist standpoint. Like, that's kind of a douche thing to say. Like, because if it's us,
I mean,
we don't stream.
The
I
thing
mean, I'm
is,
not
you
saying
can
we're trying for world first, whatever. But
I mean, you can just stream your gameplay. We're not talking like put a face cam up and be affiliate and all this stuff. But at the same time, you're absolutely right, because you know, that's a tall order. There's a lot of people that go after world's first, and there's people that have never streamed or aren't in a position. Like I guess it's built into like Xbox or at least PlayStation. I'm not familiar with Xbox. I think you can stream from there, right? Just through the console itself.
Yeah. You can do it through Twitch. That's actually how I started.
Yeah, I don't know why, but you know. So I don't know.
Hey, it's coming to 120 frames per second here soon. So
I thought it was 60. I heard you say that the
No,
other day, and I was
it's 120. 120.
are we sure?
No,
I've been
but
hearing 4K 60 FPS.
4K 120 on certain games, not on all games. A lot of
There
games
you
will
go.
have
There it is.
60, but like
There we go.
not every game will hit 120, but a good chunk of them will. Because they're even promoting it that way. Like you go to Xbox, like right now they did the reveal on the prices. They're like 4K 120 FPS.
Yeah, I mean Stadia
On
did the
some
same
games.
thing though,
No,
but
I know.
Yeah.
But
When we all canceled our Stadia account from that one weekend doing trials, and it was like, wait, you don't like playing in 4K?
I still have mine. But yeah,
Oh, I canceled that the second we erased that trials card.
dude, I play it from my bedside. It's great. You can just
wait, hold on. So you play a lot on your phone and stuff, right? Through Stadia.
If I'm playing
So-
Stadia,
so-
it's because I'm on my
So
phone.
how is that experience? Like I bet that must
fine.
be kind of cool because you can go and do a stride, go do a public event,
Dude.
whatever, many little things like that you can just pop on your phone.
It's like playing on a Game Boy. It's the greatest thing ever. Like, I chill in my bed, and if you're gonna play Crucible, you got to know you can only go into Control because it's the only playlist that's populated. But outside of that, yeah, you run strikes. You can do like nightmare stuff. You can do like right now. I'll probably do depending on if we hop on after this to do the quest or not. If we end up hopping into Iron Banner and stuff, I'll probably go get the Traveler's Chosen. We'll be talking about in a second. Just off my phone because I can just do it chilling in my bed, running around, doing strikes and all the activities. you
See,
need to.
I think that's like a huge game changer because like I know I don't want to get too sidetracked to talking about the new gens consoles coming out, but I mean that's something Xbox has promised, right? Through the Game
is.
Pass Ultimate, where you can play anywhere you want on a tablet, on a phone, on wherever. So I mean, think about that. Like, how cool is that? Like for me, like that's kind of like what you wanted Stadia to be, but it just backfired so much. Where
Yeah.
like now, like Xbox Ultimate, it's sounding like it's gonna like just tear that apart. And they have been talking about this for a long time. It's not something they're just coming out of the blue. You know, you already had Xbox Game Pass originally. Obviously, they're just expanding it more, making it more, ideal. So for me, like, I think that's game changing because, like, the fact that you can just like hop on your phone and just like on your bed, like just running mindless stuff. Because I'm like trapped in this room doing stupid grinding crap, and then my wife's like, "Oh, come over, like come on, lay down with it." That'd be cool. Just like have it on your phone right there, So
I do agree
I don't know.
with that.
What do you think about that, Beard?
I don't know. Like we had all of my Stadia experience was just that one trials card we jumped into play, and we played the same two teams over and over again, and it was laggy. I think just because I was on M&K and I didn't want to jump over to controller. I've not tried it on my phone, but there are plenty of times when it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like I think it would be cool to jump in real quick and just like it's weekly reset. Let me see what Tess has, or I don't know. I follow this dude on Twitter that like puts out like what Banshee's selling just on the off chance that he ever sells stacks on stacks again. I think he sold it all.
Never got stacks on stacks.
Wow.
I never got stacks on stacks,
That's
and
rough.
Banshee has sold it an entire one time.
Oh,
All of his
man.
pitiful existence. And
Every
so
time I
things
see
like
new
that,
mods,
it'd
I
be
go
cool to
after
jump in and like, okay, cool. Banshee's finally selling freaking stacks on stacks. I mean, like, it's just so niche that I haven't like just really done it.
So
Right. No,
real
yeah,
quick,
I
because we're
agree.
talking about it, this is what I use to play on my phone. This is just a bracket I bought for $10 off of Amazon, and it hooks onto my PlayStation controller. I just turned it on accident, so now it's connected to my phone. But it feels no different than if I'm playing on PlayStation as far as input lag or anything like that. Your controller syncs up via Bluetooth to your phone, and I just mount my phone on top of this little bracket that slides out. And I
That's
play it like a
cool, man.
freaking Game Boy. I'm sitting here just gaming in my bed with this freaking thing, and it's the coolest thing ever. Like,
And I bet it looks even cooler because it's like a little screen, right? So
you
it
gotta
probably
like
looks-
in true Game Boy fashion, you're playing it this close, like you stuff
Yeah.
a pillow under your elbows and you're just like right up here. But it's great, dude. And you can plug in like headphones in the side, or if you have like a Bluetooth headset, you can sync that up to your phone too. And like, it's like super casual. Like it's 100% meant for doing strikes and doing quest line stuff and not being like super, I don't know, competitive. But like I said, even then, I'll hop into control matches. I dropped a 39 bomb with Bo and not Better Devils, Devil's Ruin the other day on Stadia, just in a control match.
Better Devils.
Better Devils, dude. It was best
That's a blast.
best
from the
freaking
past.
weapon ever. No, but it's fun.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome because like like obviously for us like big old like video game nerds like we kind of like want that You kind of want something like more evolution on games where like they're more accessible to like everywhere you want to go and play the way you want to play.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And that's the niche I found, because when we first heard about Stadia, you're absolutely right. Everybody thought this was like, oh, this is awesome. I can like just have a crappy laptop or whatever and be able to pop up and play Destiny at 4K 60 FPS is going to be great. And just that wasn't it. But for just playing casually, doing stuff in the game, like going to Zur and buying whatever he has, or doing whatever to-dos you have to do in the world, it's perfect for it. And to go back to what Beard was saying, when we played Stadia, yeah, it was a bit glitchy being in Trials, and part of that could have been the peer-to-peer connection factor of it. But I feel like part of it too, when I play on this, it seems a lot better, and it's probably because it's a smaller screen, so even if the resolution does dumb down, you don't really notice. You're tiny pixels on a tiny screen.
That's what I was going to ask you. So the resolution, because that's what I think it was with PC, is a combination of just the resolution. I have a pretty stable internet connection. I don't think it was my internet, but then my input device, like I don't want to sound like a PC elitist here, but like I think just mouse and keyboard was just moving too fast for Stadia to like to whip around and spin around. Like the frames just weren't there. Maybe it wasn't the.
Yep.
I felt like it was input lag, but it was probably just the lower frames.
So
and so if you tell me right now, I mean, you like put it on your mama, that playing on your phone is literally a very similar or basically the same experience as playing on your PlayStation, then I'll pick up one of those stupid bracket things and I will reinstate my account with Stadia, because I do think that would be dope real quick to just like, I gotta go do this stupid thing for a mission, or like the Traveler's Chosen, I know we gotta go do strikes or whatever, like I'm gonna knock out a strike like on my lunch break or whatever the case is.
Yeah, it's verbatim the same experience outside of occasionally, and I mostly only see it in Crucible, or at least that's the only place I would notice to care, is it'll glitch for a split second because you're on Wi-Fi, you're not wired in like I would be on console or PC. So occasionally like you're panning over to aim at somebody and it like freezes for a split second and then it's like jitters and then you're back on track. But that's it. Outside, like input delay, non-existent. And I'm playing over Bluetooth. You can supposedly wire up into your phone from your controller. No need. Input-wise, I haven't felt any lag. It feels just like I'm playing on console. So
I dig it.
It's
That's
the greatest
amazing.
thing. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Wasn't that bracket like $15 or whatever on Amazon?
$10.
$10.
$10, and I'm pretty sure it was Prime. It came in 2 days. I was just like,
it's probably worth mentioning that you do not own an iPhone.
I do not. No.
I guess results may vary if you're not an Android user. Like,
I don't think Stadia can be played on iPhone. I don't own
can
one.
you not download it?
No, I don't think you can.
I don't
like
think
that was
the app's
like
in the App Store.
there was a post to make an update where you can, but then I don't think Stadia was popular enough for it to like actually eventually put it out there. Because like I mean it backfired. Like Stadia backfired a lot. You know, like they were like they hyped it up too much where then everybody's like, wait, I gotta pay subscription and buy my games. What, you know? It's just a lot of things just kind of like were kind of iffy there.
Yeah, there is a subscription. It's $10 a month, but I do play it often enough to where I'm okay paying that. Just the other night, my wife and I were watching whatever series on Netflix, Arrow, I think it was. Go figure. And like we finished, and it was still relatively early, and so like I grabbed my phone and I like played one round of Control. So,
this thing is ridiculous.
Man, you look at that, dude. You look good, dude.
You look good.
Shoot,
Outside of the
man.
technical difficulties with your
Outside
new
of that,
camera,
dude, you look freaking sexy, dude. Dang, look at that guy.
Don't make me take my shirt off.
Dude, take a shot. We'll get more viewers.
That's kind of my thing. Like the $10, like whatever. You sell millions of dollars in freaking Southern California real estate. So like,
yeah,
what's $10 to you? No, I'm just kidding. But it's just like I feel like we all spend $10 on other stupid crap that we probably don't need. And
Absolutely.
so yeah, it shouldn't make that big of a deal or make that big of a difference, like budget wise. But I don't know. That was just my one experience with Stadia on PC, and like
I had a rough experience that same night too. Like me saying that I enjoy playing it that night, and I don't know if it was because we were on a PC on a larger screen. I was playing on a 4K TV, so there could have been just delayed to the monitor itself, not necessarily my input, but just what I was seeing visually. So I don't know. It's hard to know. But
I
all
think
I know
it's
is playing on my
probably-
phone. It's crisp. It's perfect.
It's probably worth mentioning that the entire reason why we went to go try Stadia on PC was because of cheaters. That was the only reason. And we were all like, we can all still use our input method of choice and not have to deal with cheaters. Didn't quite work.
Yeah, I grabbed the sticks and it was painful. I should have played on my phone. It may have been just
I
a
was gonna
9-day
say
difference.
maybe we should try that one day when we get good.
All playing
that
Trials
can
from our
be
phone.
That can be a thing that we try. Play Trials from our phone. Not you, gamer, because you have an iPhone.
You can do it from a tablet though, if you have
No, but
an
dude,
Android
when
tablet.
Xbox old game Ultimate comes out, dude, I'll be playing on my phone all day, dog.
But then
I'm
we're
getting
gonna
that thing. I'm getting it.
Well, then,
I think that thing is gonna make Stadia forget what Stadia is, dude.
Probably.
we'll see. Let's freaking. All right, let's get the Titan out of the way.
Alright,
Right, like the Titan, just like
Destiny
busted. We get it. Like Titan's gonna be broken. I was like just perusing through YouTube today, and this one dude, I literally never heard of this guy. He's not like maybe he's big. I don't know, and I'm just ignorant. But he was talking about how like, oh yeah, freaking hunters are like the perfect combination between all of the most busted like warlock abilities and all the most busted Titan abilities. And I remember reading the stupid description for the behemoth last week, and I'm just like, they like it says in black and white, plain English, that like this subclass is going to get the best of both worlds of like everything that Stasis has to offer.
Right.
Talks about them being like unstoppable in their super or whatever it is.
High tier
We
movement.
mentioned this
supposedly.
Best offense and defense, they said.
That's right. That's what it was. And we talked about last week how we're going to have to wait to get this in hand before we really kind of give our final thoughts. But
Yeah, Bungie's
well,
like,
I mean, it's still like that. I mean, we're only like reading things, you know. We can't just be like, oh yeah, this is OP, you know. So if you guys watch YouTubers or anybody else, any other Destiny content, are saying this is gonna break the game, like, don't believe that yet. I mean, we're all like giving out our opinions on like what can or will break the game, you know. But until we play it, you know, it's I think it's a lot of difference than reading something than actually experience something.
it is just funny the descriptions they sometimes give. They're like, so the fantasies here is we want the Warlock to be able to freeze things, we want the Hunter to be able to slow things, and we want the Titan to be good at offense and defense. And we're like, wait, that's the whole game.
But you know, like I think because like Destiny's more of a PvE thing, and like, and I mentioned this before, like, you know, I think we'll see more combinations between your playstyle. Like, it's almost gonna be where when you do a strike, you do a dungeon, you do a raid, it's almost like you're gonna need each 3 characters to like go in and do this, so you guys together can slow things, freeze things, and just overrun things.
It would be cool
that's
if they
the
have
way
that combination.
Yeah, you know, like kind of like the A word again, Anthem feel, you know, where you're kind of like
That's
doing
3 podcasts in a row.
you know, where you have to like, you know, you just have to play with like everybody else. You know, one's like a ranger, the other one's like a colossus. You know what I'm saying? So they each support each other. So it's kind of feeling like it's getting that vibe where like, you know, you go run a strike, it's like I need a hunter to freeze things, you know, or you're gonna be like in the LFGs. I think we'll see those specifics. Like I have a warlock and a hunter, I just need a Titan.
Not
You know
just
what I mean?
LF Gallagher.
That's right. Must have Gallahorn and a 7-inch dick.
That's all?
Preferably the Gallarhorn. I will say this though, and this is a change that I do like, and since D1, I haven't quite understood why it's like we're gonna pick. I don't necessarily love the subclass determining what grenades you get, and how all the solar subclasses, regardless of it's Hunter, Titan, Warlock, there's just different ones. Because I mean, come on, like Hunters have really gotten the short end of the stick in the great grenade department. As far as just their deftness, their agility, like they're bouncy, they're rolly, like the movement, my opinion,
Hoppity
top
hoppy.
tier, hoppity hops. But the grenades, it's like a very well placed vortex grenade. I think is one of the strongest grenades in the game.
Spike
But
nades.
Yeah.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Sorry,
Thank
spikes.
you.
What
I was
did
like,
say?
Vortex is garbage. You take that
Yeah.
back.
Not vortex. I meant spike.
There's a delay from when it blows
Spike.
up to when it starts doing damage over time. It like
Yeah.
you can hit somebody and they can walk out of it, and as they're passing through it, no ticks are happening, and you're just like,
Thanks.
did I throw a smoke
Right.
nade? What happened?
Right, and then the void wall was only good like for wombo comboing, but we all know that doesn't work anymore.
It just covers more area than Vortex, but it sometimes
And-
just
and
like
I'm not-
splits off in a weird direction, and you're like, well, cool.
I'm not saying that I want the strongest grenades to be the easiest to use. I actually think a spike grenade is probably one of the most balanced in the sense of you can have a massive damage output, but you have to have proper placement. It's just always a stupid little dent or like a crack in the wall that like.
we'll turn it sideways. Yeah, dude, it's so
Yeah.
dumb.
Throw it
But
on
what
a
I
flush
was
wall,
gonna
and it's
say is,
like, you're like, what are you doing?
it just seems like there's this cross section between what's easy to use and what's most lethal, and a lot of the grenades kind of just intersect. I think a little too low of a point. A lot of the best grenades in the game are also the easiest to use, and so the fact that with stasis, if this is news to you, I hope this makes your day. But all of the stasis subclasses are getting the same grenades. It's not the warlocks get this one and then the hunters get that. Everybody gets the same stasis grenades. I really dig that change. You guys being hunter mains are also probably going to dig that, because we just either all get the busted grenades or all get the crap ones. Nothing kind of. But
I think correct me if I'm wrong. I maybe read it wrong, but I believe on the hunter one, depending on what grenade you pick, your ninja stars do something different, right?
I don't think so though, because they already kind of released like what the Shurikens do.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I probably read that wrong. Then okay,
So real quick before we dive into some of these abilities and stuff, each of these, as they've been releasing these, we've been able to learn a bit more and more about stasis just kind of as a whole. And I think one of the biggest questions the community has had is kind of how the freezing abilities are going to work, and we still don't know, but they've given some interesting examples that there seems to be like a build-up effect to be able to freeze people. For example, the throwing stars, you hit them with the first one and it takes a second throwing star to freeze them. It seems like there's almost this like each ability will first slow somebody before it freezes them. So it's kind of like you have to almost hit people with two abilities outside of some super, like the Warlock super mentions it freezes, instantly. It sounds like one of the supers with the Hunter will do the same. But as far as like abilities, even the grenades seem like there's almost this like progressive effect that it's not just you instantly freeze somebody with something like a grenade that now they're just a sitting duck in Crucible or something. It seems like they have thought through balance a little bit to where it doesn't sound like it's going to be as broken as everybody first initially thought, which is why Gamer has said like wait till it comes out, we got to play with it. But I was pleased to read that they thought through how freezing and slowing and all that was going to work and how it can be balanced in some way so everyone just doesn't rush to these stasis abilities and never switch off of them. So
that's kind of been my thing since the very beginning, because I feel like I don't know, like I haven't played like a ton of games in my lifetime, but I just feel like any of the RPGs or any game that has some type of competitive or like a PvP nature to it, the freeze abilities always just seem like the cheesiest. I've talked about like the Call of Duty mobile game where this stupid little RC car comes and stuns you and you're just like frozen for a few seconds. A lot of times it's just random and you get stunned there and you can't move and then it disappears and you run away.
dude,
But
that
if
was
it's like,
that was OG Mortal Kombat strats, man.
Yep.
Sub-Zero
Sub-Zero.
run up and uppercut. That's how you do it.
I was a
Um,
Scorpion main, dude.
my mom never let me play Mortal Kombat.
Oh, you're.
I mean, I never owned it
Oh, played it at
until
your friend's house?
Xbox came out, but talking the OG, like Mortal Kombat 1,
Like on
2, 3.
They were on Super Nintendo, man.
Yeah, dude.
I remember that's where I played Mortal Kombat. It was on Super Nintendo. With those cool, like weird graphics where they like look good.
You're
and then,
just going like this on the controller, hoping something happens.
yeah.
Button mash.
But yeah, dude, freeze abilities are definitely the most triggering in those types of games, and I think rightfully so. That's why everybody was so concerned about it.
Yeah.
So, I guess as part of the balance, quote unquote, if I understood what they talked about today, it kind of seems like you have to be slowed in order to be frozen.
That's how I read it. Which
Yeah, that's how I
What's the
figure
point
it
of
out
like
too.
block melee? That's
See,
just not about
hold on. So this is where I'm saying like there's going to be more customization to our builds now, right? With stasis. So that's why I don't feel like it's going to be broken, because you can play a whole different style than how I'm going to play it. You know what I mean? So obviously maybe some people, maybe there is one specific, build that's going to just break everything. Maybe it could, who knows? Like, we don't know yet. It's not out yet, so we don't know. But what I'm getting at is, so we have these fragments and we have those aspects, right? We mentioned it a little bit last week. I'm honestly hands down thinking like we won't get a whole bunch of new exotics, just because like what they're like, the perks, like you read those and you're just like, man, that's like an exotic perk, like off the bat. Like having 2 ninja stars, like that's already like an exotic perk that a hunter had. You have just like things like that where you're already feeling that exotics are almost becoming or will become irrelevant. And it's crazy because even Bungie on the last 12, I think it was, they even mentioned sunsetting exotics. Now, whether that means sunsetting them and then regrinding them, I don't know, like they did back in D1. But they did kind of like poke it a little bit, like sunsetting armor, or maybe not armor, just sunsetting exotics. Not whether that's armors or weapons.
yeah,
Who
that
knows?
just
But
it could happen in the future, right?
that's what I'm saying.
It's
So
not
for
off the
me,
table.
exactly. So for me, that's just saying more like the customizations we will have in our builds. I'll be surprised how many of us will actually run exotics. Yeah, that's just from seeing, like, I mean, you can read through all these builds and like just the very little things they give us, down on the fragments and stuff. Like that sounds really cool, and it's almost sounding like you won't even need an exotic.
I mean, I'm not gonna take off my dragon shadow anytime soon.
So real quick, since we're discussing this, let me just read the section that talks about the ability. So they mentioned slowing and freezing enemies have obvious advantages. We put a lot of effort into thinking about how stasis affects combat in both PvE and PvP situations, including things like how often you can freeze a foe and how long those freeze durations last. So don't give us any specific numbers, but just that one paragraph. Those are the things everyone was wondering, right? Do you literally just melee somebody and they're frozen and now they can't move, and you can like casually swap over to your shotgun, load a couple rounds into it, and then pump them in the face? Like, you're frozen, you're just done? Or how long does it last? How easy is it? And they're specifically talking about, we've taken all this into consideration, and we're trying to make sure it's balanced not only for PvE but for PvP as well. So don't have numbers. We don't know how long freezing lasts, and it could be something that is variable, right? Maybe the warlock who's supposed to be focused on freezing has a slightly longer duration, or maybe there's a fragment that can make it last a full second longer. Who knows? But it's cool to know that this is all in mind for them, and they're taking things into consideration to have those variable effects.
So how long do you guys think the freeze is gonna last? Like
1 second.
Yeah, me too. A second.
you think a full second?
A full second.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was like a half second, like, because think about like
Half seconds, like they're gonna freeze and be done.
right.
Mhm.
No, exactly, because like if you chuck a grenade down a wall, like I'm thinking the Huge, right? Run convergence, old school D1 Huge.
Everyone's sniping down
Right,
the hallways.
And I'm thinking you huck whatever, a freaking, which one would it be? Okay, so the cold snap grenade says that it travels along the ground and then it freezes the first person it touches, and then it changes directions to go find the next nearest.
It's like an
person.
arc bolt that's slower and travels on the ground. What it
Yeah.
sounds like.
So I'm guessing you could probably just jump over that and like
The
cool.
Ghost Guild is what I'm excited for.
got out of it, right? But if we're looking down that long hallway where waterfall is or whatever, and then you're anticipating it, you huck that grenade the second somebody peeks out, and it freezes them for a whole second, like that's an easy pick with a sniper.
If they're out in the open, yeah.
Yeah, because if they pop out to peek it, and then that's when you had a perfectly timed grenade.
Now, all I'm right, and what would be cool is like you ever seen Incredibles, where like the first one where Mr. Incredible goes through that wall and then like they're looking, and then the cops show up and it looked like they were like robbing that jewelry, and then Frozone like freezes the cop and the cop shoots and the bullet's even frozen. Dude, would that happen too with this stasis subclass? Like how cool, like the sniper's gonna come and shoot and then like his bullet's frozen at the same time, like in midair, you know what I mean?
Do you think you're gonna be able to like turn at all, shoot, or like you did?
No,
So you
I think you're gonna be stuck in
because
place.
think about it, because like even when like right now you can throw a nade now and like someone can still shoot and like snipe you in the face,
So here's
so
the
now
thing.
will it stop your bullet, and I wasn't like, I mean, I threw that joke out there, but I was being serious, like could it even do that?
Here's the thing. When we're talking about times, yeah, a full second in terms of like time to kill is fairly long, but a full second for you to be able to react and position yourself is not very long. If you chuck a grenade, they're around the corner and you freeze them, it'd probably take more than a full second, probably take you about 2 to get over into position to where you now have line of sight on them. So unless somebody is out in the open, and as soon as you freeze them, you react enough time to pull out your sniper, aim down, and hit them, it's really not a ton of time, a full second. If it's longer than that, I think we're going to start having some issues. If it was like 2 seconds, that's enough time for Top Tree Dawnblade, Hunter with Stompies to quickly jump over to the side, get line of sight, and be able to just delete somebody.
I
And so
can just
freezing
see,
would be an instant death almost.
I can see plays where you have stompies on, you jump way up in the air, somebody's coming around a corner, you huck a grenade down at them and they freeze, and that's it. You have a full second to pull your sidearm out, gently, gracefully fall back to the earth while you're blasting them in the face with their sidearm, and it's like, cool, what chance did they have to outplay you? Because if you get the drop on somebody but your aim is off, like, people can still look up, snipe you with like a slug shotgun, I don't know, regular shotgun you down, like whatever it is. And so I just don't want to feel triggered. Like,
Well, be prepared to get triggered.
Yeah, I mean, Dilla brought up a kind of a cool point. Like, when someone's in the air and you freeze them where they fall off the map, I would love to do that to a flying warlock. Oh my gosh, like
You can already do
I
that
hate
with suppressor.
flying warlocks, dude. Like they're so annoying. Sorry, Beard. I throw that out there.
no, but you're right. Like, I want there to be a skill. There needs to be a balance between. It can't just be cheese, right? Like,
See, but hold on. See,
cheesy.
I mean, because we're talking about all this stuff. Like, I really don't feel yet. Obviously, we haven't seen it. We're just, throwing out, crappy ideas. But like, we're just
Great.
no. Yeah. I'm just, talking out my butt. But like, I just feel that no matter what goes on here, stasis, we don't know what the heck's going on. I really don't feel like it's going to be too broken in PvP because like no one knows. Like once people start figuring out the wombo combos and all that stuff, like I think you'll see more of it. I think former Guardian brought it up a couple of weeks ago when we first mentioned stasis, is that hands down first weekend of trials, dude. Like how many stasis subclasses do you think we'll see?
I think fewer than what most people are expecting.
I think
exactly.
I think like 10%.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I feel, as crazy as stasis sounds, that potentially it's got that potential to be, crazy in PvP, crazy in PvE. Like I still feel people are still comfortable in playing how they play right now. So asking people to switch to that is going to take change. It's going to take some time. I don't think it's going to happen like over the first, day.
Well, you also have to go collect these aspects and fragments to put things together. So
yeah, who can? Maybe one of the rewards of flawless is you get a freaking fragment. Who knows? And like,
or
when
if
you
there's
do
not
a
an
grand
anti-cheat, there better not be.
like
You
who
ain't
knows?
locking
If,
something
like,
behind flawless with people aimbotting through walls. I'm sorry. We're gonna have some big problems. The community will freaking grab torches and pitchforks if it's locked behind flawless with cheaters, because there's a lot of players on PC that just don't even touch the game mode.
I mean, not just like flawless, but like, what if it's a reward for trials? Like it can be a rotating, like kind of how now it is, where just participating in trials, it can be like a random drop. You know what I mean?
I mean, it'd help out the population, but I think you'd have a lot of triggered people if there's not an anti-cheat rolled out at the same time. I mean, that was the effect of Solstice, right? Like, the population went up. It was positive for the playlist, but everyone was pissed because they were forced to go in a mode that they just didn't want to be playing. I mean, we played the other weekend, and we were just going to get the first 3 or 5 wins because people needed a helmet and summoner and stuff. and we lost our Mercy and the 3 losses on the card. And we
Yeah,
know that two of those 4...
We played Friday night, and it wasn't too bad. Then we played last night, and it was just every team, just something was on there. You look at their profile, back band, or Twitch band, or something. It was just...
Yeah, what is with these people on Twitter that's like, I think cheaters are fewer than what, like, they... Like, I think people are just hyping them up to be more than they are. Like, it's not hard to find one. My experience has been very different, apparently, than a lot of people on Twitter, but, like, I've seen tons of people that are like, I've maybe see one cheater, like...
I mean, it can be hard in regular gameplay. Like, obviously, people suspect it just nonstop. I mean,
right.
Sir D just put out a video the other day where he was playing against a Twitch streamer, and he was able to go back and get the footage of him. By the end of the game, the guy reported him because he didn't know it was Sir D. He was under a different name. But it just goes to show, Sir D's just a good sniper. He was hitting headshots on the guy, and the dude was like, that was pretty sus, bro.
His profile is such a private, I wonder why. So that was the thing. He had a private profile, and he was hitting insane snipes.
It was just, report this kid. He's got to be cheating. But
see, but that's Bungie's fault for not having an anti-cheat where it's not where you're not having to judge that person. You know what I mean? Where you're not having to be like, whoa, like is he
that
really
is the biggest
sniper,
problem.
or is that cheating?
As bad as it is to lose to a cheater, the worst aspect of it that's a side effect is that everyone's just always suspicious of everyone.
Right, like look at us. Like we went when you guys were helping me with comp. We took a triple Luminarch, and people were accusing us of cheating. Like come on, what is that? Just because we beat them like 3 games in a row, like they thought we were cheating.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, what the heck? Like, but that's not my fault, and that's not their fault. That's Bungie's fault or Destiny's fault, for not being able to clear with these things and being like, you know what, there is an anti-cheat. They cannot, like, if they're cheating, they're instantly banned or something like that. Who knows? Like, but obviously, just something where, like, okay, so I did get flawless this weekend, and Grenadier Jake helped me out, which is awesome. The guy after me, they went in and they faced the wall hacking cheaters, a 3-stack. They lost their Mercy, and then they get to flawless game. They faced them in game 5, lost their Mercy, then get to flawless game, and then they match them again, and then they lose. Then they reset the card. They get to the very, like, I think it was like the second game, they match that same team again. They report them, they block them again. And then they reset their card, and then they go again, and then they face them again, like on game 6. Dude, like, they faced that team like 5 times, dude. Like, kid you not. It was ridiculous. And that's why I don't know if you saw his tweet where he said they know, like, Bungie needs a better anti-cheat. But what I'm getting at is, like, you can report, you can block, you can do everything in your hands so you don't face these guys again. And you're still matching with them over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why
that's not the player's fault. That's not the player's fault. The players want to have fun, right? Like, we want to go out and have fun and have a good experience. That at the same time, we got to hold Bungie accountable to these things.
Well, that's why on the subject of putting rewards into trials, even if it's not going flawless, even if it's just playing games, like, it's a lot more noticeable and recognizable when somebody's cheating when you're in a game mode where power matters. We went into a game, somebody was 10-22, like, and I was using Layman Arc in that game, so I should have been able, with the power difference, been able to one-shot him to the head. The guy led their team 10 or 12 kills to the other 2 guys on their teams 1 and 2, and he would hit every single headshot snipe. And you're like, okay, yeah, technically the power difference doesn't matter on snipes, but you're telling me this guy with half blue armor who just started playing the game a week ago and has 29 hours logged on it is the best sniper in D2? It's like, no.
Steam profile.
Yeah.
No, we did. And then he was a Twitch dude, and we looked at his Twitch, and it was bad. His
Twitch account had been banned. So just like that, and that's why I say, unless they roll out an anti-cheat, you can't be putting rewards, and especially things like aspects and fragments that everyone's going to be hunting for once thing starts, into a game mode where everyone's just going to be upset. Because, yeah, Solstice increased the player population for the playlist, but it's what brought out all this negativity that you're seeing all across Twitter right now about everybody talking about cheating again. It's because everyone just got forced into playing against these kids because they were in there for the same reasons. They had to get their wins. They were there to get flawless. Like, that's got to get fixed. So I know we're talking about stasis, but Don't
I mean,
lock rewards behind that playlist unless you roll out an anti-cheat.
yeah, we're talking about Stasis, but it's Bungie at the same time. You know, like I feel like a broken record. We come in here and talk about it. Every time we do this, start the podcast, I'm like, we're gonna talk about cheaters, and you two are like, no, dude. Like we talk about it all the time, but it just works its way in because it's, you know, the future of Bungie pretty much it's in their hands now. You know what I mean? Like if we're gonna want players to come back and players to play and stick to this game, like they gotta fix that issue, you know, and it's a big issue.
Well, and it's become more of a topic outside of the PvP community because with this new expansion, we know there's a new raid coming, which means world first, and there's been a bunch of more footage of people cheating in PvE activities, like Gamer mentioned at the beginning, and apparently there were things because Destiny has an anti-cheat, but there are apparently things that it can detect and things that it can't detect. Like from what I understand, if you insta respawn, that's something that gets tripped by the anti-cheat and it can get you banned. But if you're auto-firing whatever weapon you want, apparently the game can't detect it. And so you can go in and just mass fire rocket launchers into a boss on the freaking hardest difficulty Nightfall, and the game has no idea how to detect it. And so as soon as the thing spawns, it can just get mass deleted by somebody, and everybody collects their Ascendant shards and moves on with life. Nobody's the wiser. So that's everyone's concern now with raids first coming out with this new raid, is that somebody can go in, just cheese the crap out of every encounter outside of the puzzles you have to figure out that comes with raids. But I mean, that's split half and half. Half of it is figuring out the mechanics, half of it is being able to coordinate attacks and do DPS on a boss and stand in the place you're supposed to. You know,
as far as I've heard though, there's no permaban in place. So even if your account, like, you get disconnected, you get banned, you get whatever back ban on your Steam account, there's nothing in the game, or Bungie doesn't do anything to permanently ban you.
Well, no, because it's a free-to-play game. You create a new profile.
Well, even your account though, like you could at some point just log back in with the same account. Apparently, I don't know. I don't cheat. I don't know. Or I just have cheating.
By the way, if you get weaseled, it's a suspect of cheating.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, that's false, guys. We just threw that out there because someone told us that, and while we were playing somebody in comp.
Yeah, one of our teammates got kicked, and they assumed he was cheating because of it.
Weaseled.
Cheater.
The point being, though, is the ban system itself. If you're, you mentioned it, the free-to-play system, the ban and the free-to-play combo doesn't make too much sense to me. I honestly, because they moved it free to play, I think, to bring in more players, and yes, it did, and that came before Trials. Well, then Trials came along with all these high-end rewards, crazy cool armor, great guns, what have you. There's a bigger reason to cheat now. I don't think the free to play did as much to. I don't think it was a net positive. There were positive things about it. It did bring in more players to come try the game for a little while. Maybe even to end up purchasing it as well. I think just removing Trials itself from the free-to-play aspect of the game.
I don't know why it's in there.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't think of to participate.
It's not a gain. It's not overall. It doesn't do anything to help the game. It helps in some aspects. Overall, though, I think it's dragging the game down. I don't think the game itself maybe might be too big of a stretch. Trials should not be free to play. I think having to buy in each season, however much the season pass costs, apparently money's not the issue because
that's the problem. Is the people cheating are usually making money, right?
Yeah, they're carrying people, and people are desperate because they need it too. You know.
The solution is that they need something that can detect that and just ban someone, because that way their account gets banned, and they can show up with another one, they can reinstate the one they were using, but as soon as they turn the cheats on again, they get booted right out. And
but if they have to make a new account or reinstate the one they were using and then buy the season over again,
they'll do it. I mean, if you're making $45 a pop for a carry in Trials,
sure. Yeah,
and you can do 10, 15, 20, however many carries before you get banned, what's it to you spending $10 on the season, you know?
That's true.
So I just think they need an aggressive anti-cheat.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with Be Online coming out, you know, it's got to pop, especially with all these cool things in Stasis, you know, we're going over. like these aspects and fragments we're having to grind. You know, if they're tied not just to trials, dude, but they're even tied to like Grandmaster Nightfalls or Master Nightfalls. People are cheating in there too.
Dude, we
You
saw a
know,
video
since,
this week from Gambit. Someone cheesed a Gambit boss with auto fire, like and infinite ammo. It's like, are you serious? It's Gambit. The other team's doing bounties. Just kill the dumb boss. They're not even trying.
Oh man, yep.
You guys, November 10th comes, new DLC.
Yep.
If your PC Master Race, your update's gonna go.
Oh, by the way, you brought up November 10th. That's when the new Xbox drops.
For reals? Huh.
I already have a very good footrest.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, because I'm thinking that's the reason why they pushed back the date, but that's just, you know,
I guess maybe that's
side note there, you know. So just
so
everybody was wondering.
Like, are you guys just mentally like, okay, November 10th, new DLC, new season, anti-cheat, all shipping, same package? I kind of am because of all of the other, like the World First, the Raid, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's going to be smart to ship everything and then not. I honestly feel like Bungie has something in store, and it's probably going to come alongside everything else, because I just don't see how much further the game's going to progress, especially from like a trial standpoint, with here's a new DLC, here's all this new stuff to do, here's this new subclass, still working on those cheaters, but there's a bunch of other more things that you can go distract yourself with in the meantime. I mean, I know we saw the meme on Twitter or whatever that's like, yeah, Fall Guys literally already has an anti-cheat in place. Like they already addressed it.
A little kids game gets an anti-cheat.
Yeah. So
I don't know if I'm as confident in that there's one rolling out on November 10th. I would love to see it. Track record history tells me that it's not. We're going to get some new info or insight in some TWAB at some point, and they're going to bank on the fact that new DLC and a refresh of what can be earned through trials is what's going to carry it through. And for me personally, that's not going to change anything. Like I said, we played the other day, and after 4 losses, 1 mercy, and 3 total, we knew that of the 4, 2 of them for sure were for cheaters. Like, it was very evident, very obvious. And that's just triggering that half of our losses were not because we got outplayed. It's because somebody had either wall hacks or aimbots. And it just makes it not fun. It's not that I'm upset because we lost. I'm upset because we're going into a game that you literally just can't do anything against. Like, I tell you that 1022 kid just 30, 40 levels below all of us.
I die. He's scoping, looking at former Guardian, and I'm like expectating former Guardian. The dude's literally just doing this as former Guardian's walking around,
just waiting for me to peek out from around the corner. Like, it makes it not fun. And so, I have zero desire to hop back into trials, at least on PC, anytime soon until that comes out. Just because just knowing that cheaters are there, and it's possible we play a full card and we don't run into them, you know. But it sure seems like every time we do, we at least run into one team. That time it was 2, and it takes the fun out of the game. I'd much rather play private matches with just us friends. I'd much rather hop into Iron Banner, regular Elim, you know, whatever, and have less of a chance of running into that kind of stuff.
Well, there's a ton of people out there who are just as confident that there will be no anti-cheat rolled out, no change at all.
Well, here's the thing, like,
yeah, I think
I don't like mentioning like other like content creators. I think that just kind of weird, but like I will mention this one. Wish you luck. I don't know if you guys know. He usually streams on YouTube. He tweeted out this thing a while back, and I was gonna send it to you guys, and I totally forgot. But it was something under the lines of like, he has his connections with somebody, I guess, and something about like, you know, if we're hoping for an anti-cheat, we're not going to get one, hands down. Like, Destiny is more of a PvE focus, and it's always going to be PvE focus. So for you PvP players, like, trying, like, want, like, this crazy thing to happen and be online, it's not going to happen. So pretty much saying, like, don't get your hopes up. You know, and now whether that's legit, whether it's not, like, who knows his connections, whatever. But it just makes you wonder like what's gonna happen, you know, because like we even said it, like, you know, why is trials like so horrible, like why is everybody's having just these crazy experiences, you know, and it's because like at the end of the day, Destiny was meant to be more of a PvE, you know, game, you know, more of a, you know, in that aspect, you know.
See, I don't even know
So
if I believe that, because that's like saying that Halo was meant to be a PvE game, and yeah, there's a storyline and stuff to it, but the PvP play of Halo was a very large
was huge.
aspect of
Yeah,
that game,
no,
and it's the same with Destiny. So
no, I agree with you, Hans, like to that, but I mean, like think about it, like raid first people that win it, they get this cool belt, they get this cool things, you know, like what happened to the people that got like first raid, like first like world's first like trials,
it was
like
butt
did they
wipe. I
get,
watched it. It was dope.
yeah, butt wipe and
He didn't get
grenader,
anything.
and then somebody else did they get anything cool?
No. But,
Right.
yeah.
So that like so that's my thing. Where like I just feel like the PvP community, it's so strong, so amazing. Aztec Cross even put a video once. He's like, you know, like Bungie PvP feels like, I mean, Destiny 2's PvP just feels so nice. The weapons feel good. The weapons are great. Like you just want to go out there, you want to experience it because it is a fun experience. But with cheaters around, it just kind of ruins that. So that's why I always bring up, if World's First, think about this. If the Raids World First gets won by cheaters, how do you think like Bungie's gonna feel?
I mean,
And
if that's what
why
it
I
takes to
have
fix it.
believe that there's-
Hold on,
ahead.
Beard, you go first. Yeah, because you both kind of talk at the same time.
Because of that specifically, because of World's First, I think there has to be some level of anti-cheat or some more aggressive level of anti-cheat that's going to roll out. I think there has to, because they don't not know. It's not like Luke Smith is going to open up his Twitter feed tomorrow and go, wait, there's cheaters. What? Like, they know. They have to know. They know that World's First is a big deal. I don't think Destiny was meant to be a PvE game and then a PvP game, but I do also agree that, like, yeah, like sometimes certain updates or whatever seem more geared towards one over the other, or they tend to take their time a little bit too much before updating PvP stuff. But because of World's First, I think there has to be a level of anti-cheat rolled out alongside the new season. I think there has to be.
See, my two arguments to it being a PvE only game is, one, whenever that subject comes up, the only thing we talk about is raids, because that's the one thing that's very unique to Destiny and its PvE scene, is there's not a lot of other games, especially first-person shooter style games, that have activities like raid that require coordination, that require proper DPS, that require you to get a team together in a large group like that of 6 people to go do a hard activity. You're absolutely right, but how many people out there are just running strikes because they're so much fun? I don't think there is as many, right? Like, we keep saying the word PvE, but what we mean to say are raids, because raids are what draw people into Destiny PvE side. The missions, the strikes, they're there, we do them, they're awesome, but the replayability has never really been there. And so I would argue that the PvP scene is what there's a strong player base that come back and day after day are just in the Crucible, whatever playlist they like doing. And going back to Beard's comment, when it comes to changes, I actually think they tend to be more tailored to PvP side. Something feels broken, and so the tuning that seems to happen is Antaeus Ward. It's freaking Spectral Blade being able to see through walls. It's
One-Eyed Mask.
It's Recluse's damage. Like, it's all this.
Telesto.
It's all the stuff that in the PvP we're like, dude, that's a million times stronger than anything else in the game. You've got to change it. And they eventually end up changing it, however long that ends up taking. But I would argue that most of the tweaks done to perks and weapons and mods and things like that are because of how it affects PvP. But I do agree that, you know, the biggest concern right now, obviously we all care about the anti-cheat for PvP, but it's definitely affecting the PvE side of the game as well. And if they don't roll out an anti-cheat and it is a group of cheaters that wins World First, I really hope that's what tips the scale for them to be like, okay, we got to put this in. Because in my personal opinion, and this is going to sound, I don't know, maybe a little douchey, but for how many people play this game, it's more just an embarrassment, the fact that cheaters run as rampant as they do in this game. I think if nothing else, it's a PR move that Bungie just needs to fix it, because it just makes the game look bad. So
Let's
again,
say what does it change in the game? First team, I mean, okay, cool. The first team to get it, they cheated. Like that doesn't change anything for any other player in the game because the group of world's first is so selective and so small. Like it's not going to change anything for us, the casual gamer.
no, it's just
We-
going to make the game look bad.
It's going to make the game look bad, but it's not like in PvP where cheaters actually change the landscape of the game for us. There's actually
100%.
a tangible effect. There's not going to be a tangible effect if a team of cheaters. The other thing is, how are we going to tell? How are we going to know if a team of cheaters finishes the raid first? Like, I don't know if there's much of a way to know that, unless it's like internal, unless Bungie does something or they're somehow monitoring. And I don't think any of that can happen without an anti-cheat. But I don't
All
know.
I'm saying is if Dado doesn't win for world's first, man, because of cheaters,
Dado
that's
for
when
world's first. Vote now.
he's gotten close like so many times, and he gets outbeaten by just an inch.
Like if I think
Just
the
say it,
only
he gets
way to know
outbeaten by
is
Glad.
like within hours. If it's like, wait, this team finished the raid in 2 hours.
No,
Like,
I mean the okay. Well, so Brady did a. I sent it to you guys. He interviewed a cheater, and he's all like, honestly, like we can go through walls, like.
Yeah, I
Like
talked about just getting to the last encounter,
we're just gonna
wiping
go
and-
to the boss and murder the boss, like, you know, because he said that, you know, he interviewed that cheater, and he said that have you guys ever done Spire? That last boss, he's got like a little overshield.
He summons
but
and then the shield pops
minute
up.
he lands, he doesn't have that overshield for a few seconds. He melts the boss before he gets that overshield with
Him
whisper
alone.
and with
Skipping
a
the
full auto
entire-
whisper. Gives the whole entire thing, just melts him instantly as soon as he lands.
See,
It's
and I
ridiculous.
have if it doesn't roll out with an anti-cheat, I half want that to happen, just so that the only thing you hear about Destiny is cheaters cheesed the biggest event that dropped for this big expansion.
Right. Because think about
So
it, like,
that they just jump on it and it's just hard anti-cheat is now in effect. Anyone who's caught using cheating software is instantly deleted out of the game. That's what I want.
exactly, because like I said, World's Raid is like really fun to watch. You know, it comes along. You know, we're texting each other like, dude, like this team's over there, like Glad's doing this, like, you know, Dado's team's doing that. You know what I mean? Like it's so fun to watch, and you got like really good like raiders in PvE. You know what I mean? And Destiny, and they're super cool to watch. So like having seen that. You know, and then having just cheaters come in and ruin it. Yeah, but you're right, Beard. Maybe there's not a whole lot of us going to try Worlds first, but look at all those teams that just dedicate their whole times just doing this to compete. It's like going to the World Cup and losing to a team that just like lied throughout their things and use drugs and use things like that.
Regarding from a PR standpoint, it's like, why are there cheaters in any game?
I mean,
Exactly.
we're 6 years into Destiny's career, and
I thought we just hit 7.
are we in 7? I don't even know. I lost track. What was it? 4 years of D1. We're in year 3.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is year 7. It's like, how can a game that's been around for 7 years have this big of a cheating problem? You know,
Mhm.
like
Because it's new on PC still.
even so, dude. When you say new on PC, came out 3
4
years
years
ago.
now.
We're
Yeah,
in year 3 of Destiny 2.
We're year 4. Year 4 Destiny 2.
Yeah, come on. So yeah, we're going into year 4. So we're almost done with 3 full years of Destiny 1 or Destiny 2. I mean, it's been on PC that whole time, and
I mean, I do have to say though, for how much we piss and moan about cheaters, even if the anti-cheat doesn't roll out day 1, there is nothing that's going to stop me from playing the crap out of this hunter subclass.
Yeah, and especially with the new sidearm, right?
Oh my, yes, especially with that new
yeah, should we
sidearm.
touch on
I'm
that before we close this
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, let's finish off with that.
I mean, I think it's the sickest thing in the world. The name of the super, what is it? Squall and
Silence and Squall.
Like the freaking commas have names. That's so sick. And you throw them individually. I guess that's the super. You cast it, you throw the one, and then you don't have to throw the other. Like, how is that just not this? That's the sickest thing. I am so pumped for the super. I'm pumped for the freezing, throwing knives. I think there's so much that is going to be. I mean, I'm hyped. I'll get.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about cheaters, but we're all stoked for Stasis. Come on, right? I mean, we're all excited to try these things out.
So, Traveler's Chosen quest finally launched today. Gamer, have you gotten it yet?
No, I'm like halfway through it.
So we'll probably be snagging it in just a moment. But real quick, just a quick review on some of the perks and things. First off, it is an exotic kinetic sidearm, and it is a 300 round per minute archetype, which is Devil's Ruin, Translation Theory, Drang. Some of the favorites among the community as far as sidearms go. So it's a solid archetype. Has pretty good stats across the board, higher than most of those other ones we just mentioned. But its exotic perks is Gathering Light. Final blows with this weapon grant stacks of Gathering Light, and you can hold reload to consume the stacks that grants you melee, grenade, and class ability energy based on the number of stacks you have. Also, each stack of Gathering Light improves the weapon's reload, handling, and target acquisition. So, from what I understand, in PvE, every kill gives you a single stack, up to a max of 6, if I'm not mistaken. In PvP, a single kill will give you 3 stacks at a time. So 2 kills will max you out at 6. And consuming all 6 stacks grant you around 75-80%, it looks like, of your abilities, which is pretty nuts.
That's
so
pretty gnarly.
Because then you're going to have some type of ability. You're going to be running whatever thing you put on your cloak, that when you use your ability, your dodge ability, you get your other ability. There's all
distribution.
Is it distribution or is it perpetuation? It's one of those. Anyways, point being is getting kills, dodging. There's other ways to get at least that much more energy back for your abilities, and so then using a stack, or was it 3 for a kill in PvP? Like, the point being is you're going to get a big chunk even if you don't have tons of kills, basically, on the gun. And so yeah, like a kill or 2 gives you the majority of your grenade and your melee back, basically. I mean, I think it's going to be nuts. Like,
I'm really excited about it because as far as regenning abilities go, Demolitionist is a great way to get your grenade back. The only real way to get your melee back is with Monte Carlo. And so it's cool that this is kind of another option that does not only that, but gives you some of your other abilities as well. I feel like there's going to be some cool builds that you can set up to just kind of keep all of your abilities up, or one or the other specifically if you're trying to make a build around it. Like, the first thing I thought of was running Middle Tree Stormcaller with like Getaway Artists or even just something else, but just like pop your little powered up arc buddy, run around peppering people, and then, you know, once you get 2 kills, you basically have your grenade back to then, because on Middle Tree you get the traces, right? So you kill somebody, you get a trace that regens your abilities. So you get 2 kills, you've gotten 2 traces, and then you reload and utilize all 6 stacks to get that 80% whatever back. You should have your grenade up by the time Arc Buddy goes away. And so you just pop it again and move on to the next group. It sounds like it could be a fun run and gun style. Obviously, there's other builds. That was just the first one that came to mind. But it'll be fun to play around with this and try and put things together. So
yeah, I saw somebody put. Oh, sorry. Go Beard.
No, you're fine. Okay, fine. I'll go. I was gonna ask you guys. So for me, sniper's my favorite weapon type in the game. Sidearm is a very, very close second. I almost always have one or the other on, unless I'm doing something specific. I love sidearms, so naturally, I am all for this weapon. Can't wait to get it. Because of the massive, just like neutral game, the meshing that it's gonna have with pretty much any not playstyle, but any build that you could possibly put together. Do you think the fact that it's a sidearm is going to push people to try out a weapon type that maybe they don't use? Or is the fact that it's a sidearm going to be the reason why people don't decide to use this weapon?
I think it's going to be just like Devil's Ruin, that everybody's going to get it because it's something new. You're going to see a bunch of people trying it out, and then it's going to disappear off of the PvP scene.
Like Dunzo.
I mean, especially look at the meta we're in right now. That's one thing, and then second thing, I think we'll see it though, because of that sidearm perk. I forgot the name of that, where you get stacks on it and then it just totally destroys. I think maybe that might save it. So you might be able to see that more often. So far, the reaction I've gotten on Twitter and some buddies that have already gotten it, some of them either hate it and some like just love it. It's just kind of, I feel that's kind of how Devil Ruin was anyways. Like people either loved it or hated it.
That was my thing when Devil's Ruin first came out. People were like, "This thing's broken. It takes, primary ammo or whatever, and it can delete somebody as fast as some special weapons and da da da." And a week later, nobody was using it, and I use it all the time. It's probably my favorite exotic in the game. I just, like I said, on Stadia of all places, got a 39 kill game in control with it, using a bow as well. Legend. It's like, it's a great weapon. It's just not meta, and so you don't see it. And I feel like that's what this is going to be. It's going to be a great, reliable weapon. Not as reliable as Gnawing Hunger with Tap the Trigger and Kill Clip, so that's awkward.
So you think because it's a sidearm, that's going to turn a lot of people off to the build potential?
Yeah.
Because it has massive build potential to couple with pretty much any build you could possibly run, but because it's a sidearm, you think less people are going to be inclined to?
I think people are less inclined to put builds together in this game and just go with what's the best. Yeah. That's why when you play Trials, you see bottom tree Strikers, middle tree Spectral Blades, and top tree Dawn Blades, almost exclusively, outside of the occasional Bubble Titan or bottom tree Arc Strider. That's it.
Because speaking too soon, but I am fully expecting this gun to probably be, especially since Revoker's going bye-bye, I'm thinking this is going to be, I will probably never have this gun off of my inventory. I might swap it out for something, but, I don't think it's going to be taken off any of my characters. I'm expecting to fall in love with it, because I love sidearms, so I'm a huge sidearm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all three of us are. I think all three of us probably played sidearm the most from all our buddies.
Yeah, I'm excited to get it, and I think I'm going to play a ton of it. I think in general, though, you're not going to see a lot of it outside of this week. Maybe next.
Good. I don't like my favorites being everybody's favorites.
Yeah.
yeah, because, by the way, that middle tree arc that you were talking about, Chaos Reach, someone on Twitter put it on there already. She, had her super, used it. I think she already had the perk activated, and she got her super immediately right back up again. Pretty nasty. Because so it stacks, and then plus the abilities that freaking Chaos Reach has, where it regens you from the crap, and then it keeps buffing you up. So I'll send it to you. You can see what it is. I'm not a Warlock main, dude.
The little
Ionic Traces.
On you, Ionic Traces.
Yeah.
With Crown of Tempest.
Yes. Yep. That's what she was running. That. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, she had Crown of Tempest with Middle Tree, and just so you can get your super back.
As long as we don't have stasis in our hands, I will probably just be playing Warlock still. So
yeah, the only time I played a lot of Warlock was probably when Shadowkeep launched, and they had the anti-barrier, and then before the breach resonator or reactor, I can't remember. It was only tied to your grenade, so then you ran that with the Necros Sin. You were instantly getting your super back, and then you could do it with a Void. You could have done it with Void, and you could have done it with Arc, and it was so awesome. That was the only time I played Warlock, just because how broken you can just get your super back on PvE. It was super awesome. Running Menagerie, running Last Wish on it was so fun. Anyways, that's a side story.
Well, we're all kinds of excited. All three of us need to go get that sidearm, so I think it's about time we take off, go play some Destiny. Former Guardian, where can people find you if they want to hang out with you afterwards?
You guys can talk to me on Twitter at Former Guardian. You ever want to play with us, peeps? Hit us up, shoot us a message. We're usually playing all of our group together Tuesdays and Fridays, so if you got a lame weekend, don't have anything to do Friday, hit us up. We're usually doing a raid or trials runs or whatever, so love to chat.
For sure. Not So Gamer.
You can find me on Twitter and on Facebook at NotSoGamer91. I also stream right now. Stream's being a little iffy with the moving, but you can catch me on Twitch at NotSoGamer _ between the not and the so.
Excellent. And you can find me on Twitter as well at The Real Beard. And yeah, we would actually love for that. Anybody that's listening, we want to say thanks first of all to anybody who's listening live on Facebook or on Twitch, where we stream every Tuesday 9 p.m. Arizona time, which apparently is like Pacific Standard right now or something.
Yep.
Freaking ridiculous. Everybody just stop changing times. You can listen to us after the fact as well on audio at Spotify. You can watch our beautiful faces as we talk about this game we love on YouTube. Some point tomorrow, the day after the fact, our show usually goes up on YouTube. And yeah, if you do want to come play with us, we're a very open group of guys. We just love this game, love having fun. So stop by, send any one of us a message. We would love to get to know our loving and adoring fans. All like
Awesome.
you. So thanks, boys. Let's do it. Let's go get ourselves a sidearm.
All right, let's go, boys.
Peace out.